Now my next guest is someone who really doesn't need any introduction. Fresh off a win last night, which was a tremendous effort. The fight went 12 rounds. He fought one of Australia's best fighters in Shannon Taylor. Shannon Taylor was the WBC #2 fighter. He fought some of the greats of the sport. And it was a real test for for Anthony last night because he's moved down to a weight. He's a former two-time world super middleweight champion. He's a Pan-African super middleweight champion, the Pan-Asian super middleweight champion, and the Fed Latin super middleweight champion. He needs no introduction. I welcome the man, Anthony Mundine. Choc, welcome. I know you've been here many times, brother, and just have a little bit of a chat about last night. How'd you pull up?
No, it was pretty good, man. Just, do what I have to do, and you got to be desperate at times and got to be dirty, but it's like desperate times calls for desperate measures, and wasn't. I knew it'd be dirty when I got dirty, but it's all good.
Well, it was. Sadly, it got to that. I think there was a lot resting on this fight. I mean, he had it all to gain and nothing to lose, and I guess you had it all to lose and nothing to gain, realistically, except for the fact that now that you're the official #1 contender for the World Middleweight Championship, where the champion is the German Felix Sturm. Tell us a little bit about what your plans are now, what you're going to do for the next month or next couple of months in preparation while this thing happens with Sturm.
First of all, next week I'm booking for a surgery on my hip. I've had a bad hip for a while, and it's been hindering me, in my training and stuff. So I'm gonna get that fixed. Hopefully, I'll only be out for about a month to 6 weeks running and stuff and training, so I can, put my head back to fighting Sturm. I think it's destiny that I go back to Germany, but this time as a man, not as a boy.
Anthony, last time you went to Germany, just 11 professional fights, or was it 7? I think it was 10 professional fights, and I mean, really, to fight a guy the calibre of Kicket, I mean, he is one of the greats of the sport, and you went there and you absolutely showed him what it was all about. And sadly, he didn't come back with the belt, but you've certainly since made up. It just made your resolve stronger and better, and you came back and you won 2 world championships, but you won quality world championships in the oldest of all the organisations, the WBA, which is 78 years old. And your championship is amongst some of the greats. So we're talking Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali. They were WBA world champions, and you're in that area. So will you have any reservations going back to Germany? I mean, you're going back there as a man. You're going back as a much more accomplished fighter now than what you went the first time.
Yeah, definitely, man. I feel like I'm more seasoned, more professional. I feel like I'm a way better fighter than I was a young, undeveloped kid the first time I went there. This time I feel that I'll beat any middleweight in the world, and I want to unify the division and become undisputed champion.
A lot of talk about that you wouldn't make the weight. There was a lot of talk about that, that during the weight, and I have to admit, I was probably a little bit sceptical, knowing that, I've been with you basically from the start when your first professional fight, and at that stage, even a couple of times then, making super middleweight, because you did play rugby at 84 kilos, so to come back down to 76 kilos was sort of difficult in the early days, but you've done it pretty well now. So your preparation for this fight, you knew it was going to be hard, you knew it was always going to probably go the distance, but your preparation and then having to get back down to the weight, what do you walk around at your normal weight, just, sort of normal?
I probably walk around about, 78, 79. But that's for most fighters, walk around 10 to 20 pounds heavier. But I made the weight, pretty easy. I thought easier than what I thought. So I really feel middleweight's my home now. I feel strong, still feel quick, and still got my foot movement. So I feel that, hopefully I can make that division mine.
Punching power. There's a lot of talk. The commentators last night said that you've lost your punching power, because I know, and I've refereed you before, you have got one punch knockout power, which is something very rare in a fighter. In the last 3 fights, but you have fought some quality opponents too, you haven't quite had that one punch knockout power. But is that something that you wanted to just maybe go the distance and see as you've come down to the 72.57 kilo weight limit, that you can actually get that out of your head and say, well, okay, I know I can go 12 rounds at this weight?
No, but I mean, when these fighters, Shannon Taylors and whoever else, especially Australians, fight me, fight Anthony Mundine, they do all they can, leave no stone unturned to try and put up a gallant effort in order to win. So they put their you know, they were sparred lions and tigers if they had to. So their preparation basically puts them in a position to go the distance. And I know I still got the, you know, my power. It's not a problem. I really feel it's just timing. And you know, Shannon had a high guard last night, and like I said, he was prepared to do the 12 rounds.
Talking about Danny Green, they brought the announcement the day before your fight. I mean, it was very well planned by them. Just give us your thoughts on that particular fight. He's moved up to 79.38 kilos light heavyweight after you beat him comprehensively last time. You've moved down to 72, so there is a gap now. If that fight was to happen, and I mean, you've got a program, you've got something where you're going, you know where to go, and you know how to go and get it. Is he not in your radar only unless it suits you?
Well, I mean, you know what they say, man, money talks and, you know, what walks, you know what I mean? So if I want to make the fight happen, you know, that's what, I'm willing to, you know, fight him and beat him again. In Perth, in his hometown, I fight him wherever. Don't matter if we fought even on the block, it doesn't matter, you know. I really feel that I'm the better fighter, I'm the better man, and he knows it. That's why he's trying to come get that, his lick back, because the first time was a mismatch and the second time will be a mismatch.
Anthony, you've been over to Perth. I actually refereed you over in Perth. You were incredibly popular over there. I think that irked the Green Camp probably a lot more than anything else, where you were the star over there. You don't have any reservations about going to fight their favourite son over there?
Hell no. I beat him in his hometown. Well, it's not his hometown, it's my country.
Good call, yeah, good call. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we might take the opportunity. There's a number of the media here with us, and is there anyone who'd like to ask Anthony a quick couple of questions about last night's fight, if you'd like to say anything? Any questions? That's about it? Okay. Anthony, thanks for your attendance here. I know you're a huge supporter of the Black Knight of the Stars, and tell us a little bit about your thoughts on it.
I just want to say a big ups to Alex Whymarra for putting this event on for Indigenous Australians here at the block, and showcasing all the talent that we got in the area. I feel that our talent is boundless, and like I said, it just takes a bit of discipline, a bit of dedication, a bit of motivation in the right direction to really make things happen. And Alex is putting his foot forward and trying to do that for a lot of boys. And hopefully they can put on a good show for everyone tomorrow night.
And Anthony, it's great to see people like yourself who have made it in one of the toughest sports of all, getting behind these young guys. I mean, I know you know how hard it is when you're starting off to make a name and to certainly just live, and then and the trials and tribulations of doing your work and your family commitments and in your sport, and to be successful at it. So I know you'll know that what he's going through.
No, it's a pleasure for me to be here, man. I feel like hopefully I'm an inspiration, not just to the boys, but to a lot of youth and Aboriginal youth out there that maybe haven't got, lack of direction, and show them, I and a lot of other guys on the panel here, I showed them that, with a bit of dedication, discipline and determination, anything is possible. You can overcome any obstacle they put in front of you.
Yeah, I agree, and I think when there's no question about that, and your credentials as well, apart from being one of the finest Aboriginal sports stars, probably one of the finest sporting stars in the history of Australian sport. Not only is he a great fighter, he's a great humanitarian, he's a terrific family man, and he's a great supporter of Indigenous people. Give him a big hand, Anthony Mundine.